Hey, so this is a crazy time, and we're doing the right thing, and we're staying inside. And this is also a moment of serious anxiousness for all of us around the world. And video games have never been more of a comfort than they are right now. And that's what today's feature is all about. I want to talk about the games that we go back to, the games that give us a little solace and a lot of joy. And they're the games that we keep going back to find comfort when the anxieties and pressures of the world infiltrate our lives. We call them comfort food video games. And I'm going to keep my first 5 tradition alive and give you guys my first 5 comfort food games. But before we do that, I wanted to reach out to some of the EP and Reviews on the Run family members out there and get some of their thoughts on the games that they keep going back to.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm down here in my my COVID bunker. I'm safe. I got everything I need down here. I got my blankets, I got my cats, and I got my PC. I'm really big into PC gaming these days, which is surprising for me because I've never been much of a PC gamer. And right now I'm playing Doom Eternal. And I don't know if you're really into Doom, or maybe you think it's too violent, you know. It's just like I really just need something that's a distraction. I should go play Animal Crossing like everybody else in the world. You know what? Go play Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is a good way for you to sort of get the stress out of your system. Also, that there's incredible intelligence in the level design. Like, I think it's a perfect Doom experience. Everyone has to play it. Like, you know, not kids. Kids shouldn't play it. It's not for kids at all. The other game I've been playing a lot of, this is going to be weird. I've been playing the original Prince of Persia, not the original, not back to Jordan Mechner, not that one. I'm talking about the Ubisoft relaunch in 2003. There's just such a sense of dizzying wonder and awe, and it's just, the story is told beautifully, and the wall running now that so many other games seem to take advantage of. Like, this was the game that really pioneered wall running and did a great job of expressing it. So those are my 2 comfort go-to games, and right now I'm just getting through another day down here in the bunker.
Hey, it's Jeff Cannata from the DLC podcast at 5x5.tv/DLC. And when I think about comfort food games, I think about games that have infinite replayability and make me feel good, take my mind off of the world right now. And there are some games that I keep coming back to. I'm a big fan of roguelites that are not too punishing, but they make me feel like every run, I'm inching toward some bigger goals. Games like Hades right now, I find myself putting a lot of time into. And there's always Dead Cells, those great roguelite kind of games. Rogue Legacy is an all-time fave. I feel like I can continually just lose myself in the grind of those games, and I never feel like it's wasted time. I always feel like every death, every run, I'm getting a little closer. I'm progressing ever so slightly toward getting cooler and cooler stuff. And then there are other games that just transport me away, let me go crazy and just zen out and have a great time and not think about the world, particularly games in VR. So I have 2 to offer you. One I think is kind of a no-brainer, and that's Beat Saber. Beat Saber is a total comfort food game for me, especially on Oculus Quest. I can throw my Oculus Quest headset on anywhere, anytime, and just be transported into some sick beats. And the second one, if you can play it in VR, I highly, highly recommend it, is a game called Subnautica, which is great on a 2D screen, but is sublime in VR. I feel like I'm in a completely different world underwater. The VR mask itself adds to the immersion because it feels like a scuba diving mask. Subnautica in VR, Beat Saber, and great roguelites like Hades are my picks for comfort food games.
So without question, I'm a huge horror movie fan. I'm even sporting my Freddy Krueger sweater tonight, but I love the Res Evil franchise. So those are the games that I go back to time and time again over the years. You know, I've got a nostalgic leaning towards the classic games from the 90s and then all the way up to the current remakes. So to me, this is what I need when I'm feeling down, and you know, whether I'm traveling or I'm at home, I boot up one of the games in the franchise, even if I've played it before. Love the atmosphere, love the action, the characters, the puzzle solving. everything about this franchise. So for me, that's my comfort food.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
My comfort game is Minecraft. I've been playing for 10 years now, off and on, and just being able to go back into my world and visit this elaborate village that I built and climb my giant tower and just go flying around, it's peaceful. And it's a place where you're in total control. You've built the world the way you want it to be. And when we can't really go outside to play right now or go outside to socialize, it's so great having this giant procedurally generated world where you can just hang out. I just see how my villagers are doing, make sure the merchants are okay. You know, sometimes I'll build another house or two, or I'll call somebody else into my world and we'll just hang out, co-op, and chat. Just right now, especially, it's just a really comforting, familiar place to go. I love having Minecraft as kind of a refuge to go to just chill. And right now, we need as much chill as we can get.
You know what I'm gonna say already. It would be Spelunky 2 if Spelunky 2 ever came out on time. Still waiting for that to finally be released. But, I mean, you know, Dead Cells took the place of Spelunky long ago, and now that I can play it on damn near everything I own, it's the game that I go back to the most, especially in these times of crisis. I've actually been playing a lot of games I missed out on over the last year or so of me not playing as many games as I normally would. So I finished Crackdown 3. I just restarted Grand Theft Auto 5 for some weird reason. I did Ori the Blind Forest and the Will-O-the-Wisps. Finished both of those. But then, you know, there's always time to just go back to the Dead Cells because it's just so good. Still, years later, hundreds of hours on my Switch, multiple hundreds and hundreds of hours on my Steam account. They still keep updating it. Just update. Like a couple weeks ago, brand new update. So Dead Cells is going to be hands down the winner of my comfort food.
Hey everyone! So some of my comfort food games include going back to the classics like Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World. I can't decide which one I like most because I love both of them almost the same. Going back to the classics, I just, the muscle memory comes back and all the secrets I remember reading in like strategy guides, they all come back. So it brings back a lot of fond memories of me playing, with my siblings when we were younger. And then I'm sure most of you are playing Animal Crossing New Horizons these days, and what I love most about this game is the sense of community that it builds. Like, I am in all sorts of threads with my coworkers, like friends I haven't talked to, friends that normally wouldn't even play games, and I just love the fact that we're all sharing this joy of, finding the latest rare fish or, checking our turnip bell prices every morning in our hot items. So it really builds that sense of community because we're actually checking in with each other more often than we normally would. So that's what I love most about Animal Crossing.
I've actually just been working on my backlog, which is shamefully large. But Mario Kart, in all of its incarnations, is definitely a game that we are always playing and we have gone back to now. I also want to give a special shout out to Diddy Kong Racing, which we are still playing on my wife's OG N64. Other than that, it's funny, I recently also dug up Rock Band, and I am resurrecting that because I think that's a good family game, and I haven't played it in a while, and I think, I need to keep busy. I need something to do with my hands. And I think my daughter is at a perfect age to start appreciating that. It's funny, I've also actually re-hooked up my VR headsets and have blown the dust off those and played a little bit of a Tetris Effect and some Beat Saber, which is also always awesome and great. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I'm using to keep myself busy these days in this pandemic. I hope you and your family are well, and I hope you are playing lots of games.
Hi EP family, it's Donna Mei-Ling Park here. Greetings from my patio in Berlin. I've really missed you guys. I hope some of you can remember me. I'm sorry it's taken something like a global pandemic for us to reconnect, but that is something really good that can come out of this. You can connect with the people that you carry in your heart always, but sometimes run out of time to talk to. So there is that. On the other hand, you can really help by just staying home. Here in Germany, we are having quite the battle with coronavirus, and I have to say, staying home and playing games could save lives. So why not, right? I only have a few minutes to talk to you about a couple of my favorites. First of all, I live in a household where we would not exist without PUG G. So there's that. Second of all, the mother of all puzzle games, Tetris. Every time I pack something up, I feel like it's a real game of Tetris. And of course, the virtual game is so entertaining, I find it really satisfying, and ultimately, I think it super calms me down. Lastly, 2 dots. As the name suggests, you have to connect dots. It's one of the few games I have on my phone. I've been playing it forever. Anytime you need a little break, you're bored, you're in line, you just need something to take your mind off of it, 2 dots is your friend. I'm sending you the very best vibes. I love you guys so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye!
Okay, there are so many great games that you can put in the comfort food games list, but there's one that I always go back to, and I own it in every platform imaginable, and that is Enter the Gungeon. And I own this thing on Switch, I own them digitally on PC, on Xbox. You can get this thing anywhere. Not this limited stuff here, but this game is twin stick shooter perfection. You know, if you love twin stick shooters or you love bullet hell games, Dodge Roll just did an amazing job of just making a perfectly balanced twin stick shooter that has references to all of your favorite video games, a lot of your favorite movies, and many different characters with different play styles. It's just so much goddamn fun. And anytime I'm not sure what to play on my PS4 or on my PC, and I just need 30 minutes to kill some time, I'll pull out my Switch or any of my consoles, and I'll quickly play a round of Enter the Gungeon. If you've not tried this game, please give it a go. It is the definition of a comfort food video game for me. It's going to be challenging at first, but I promise you will get better in time.
It's Julie coming to you straight from quarantine. I've got my Mad Max hair, and I've got my games lined up. And you know what? I'm just hunkering down and enjoying this thing because there are a lot of games out there to play. Right now, I'm pretty deep into Elder Scrolls. I really like Skyrim. My kids are enjoying it as well, I'll admit. There's some mods out there that we've been playing with. And we have just been really comfort fooding when it comes to gaming. A lot of Nintendo. I brought out some of the old classics. You know, we've got a lot of Mario Kart going on. You know what else we put in front of my kids that they are crazy for is Beyond Good and Evil. That is just a great game, a classic. Anyway, yeah, just take this time, man. Enjoy it, play, and be with the people you love.
Greetings, fellow quarantine gamers. I hope you're staying healthy. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying home. And I know for a fact that you're playing a lot of video games because there's nothing else to do. And in times like these where we have a lot of anxiety, there's a global pandemic threatening humanity, I'm going to play some open world role playing. That's what I need. So I'm playing a lot of Skyrim these days. I've played Skyrim a lot over the years. I've completed it a few times. I've played as a Nordic barbarian, a spellcasting wizard. I've played as a thief. And I love this game. I can come back to it time and again because there's always a decision I can make that's different from the last time I played. I can join a guild I didn't join the last time. I can interact with the character in a different way. More than anything, I can climb to the top of a mountain. I can breathe in the cool, fresh air, and I can smash a dragon in the face with an axe. That kind of escapism, that's what I need right now. I gotta break down these 4 walls and I gotta roam. And a game like Skyrim, with almost no boundaries anywhere, you can just kind of go. That's the kind of game that I need under these circumstances. Now, there's other open world role-playing games out there. You could try The Witcher 3, or another suggestion would be the Baldur's Gate games. Try Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 to prepare yourself for Baldur's Gate 3. There's so many great RPGs. That's what I would sink my teeth into. Lord knows we have a lot of time on our hands, so get gaming, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you on the other side.
If you're looking for a great game to escape into during these times, something to maybe take your mind off of things or help you to relax, I highly recommend a game called Hohokum. This was released on the PS3, PS4, and the PS Vita. It's a Santa Monica studio release, and it is a ambient music-based exploration game where you control what appears to be an arrow with a really long, trailing, colorful tail, and the whole point of this game is just to fly around and explore. There's not a lot to go on when you initially start it up. The game doesn't tell you what the controls are. There's no explanation for what you happen to be. You're just exploring. So you fly around these initially monochromatic worlds, looping around different shapes, coming across other creatures much like yourself, and then you can join up with them, you can fly around, you can open portals to other screens and other worlds. It's very relaxing. There's some light puzzle elements because you have to kind of figure out what is happening in each of the stages, but it's very loose, it's very non-structured in a way where you can go into a stage and you can keep exploring, you can do whatever you want. You can actually just fly around in loops, and the game doesn't care. Mostly it's just very chill and relaxing. There's an ambient score that is done by various artists. I think most of them are on the Ghostly International label. One of the artists is Taiko, which is, I just recommend listening to music by Taiko in these times to relax and kind of chill out a little bit. But yeah, if you're looking to relax and maybe Animal Crossing isn't your thing, or you've played a lot of it recently, check out Hohokum. It's on the PlayStation Store, and it's definitely worth your while. And it's just nice to sit down and relax and kind of let go and explore a different, colorful world where nothing bad can truly happen.
I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone that my comfort game right now is Animal Crossing New Horizons. This game is it. This game is everything. Not only am I playing, my husband is also playing, and so we're visiting each other's islands. I'm gonna go see friends, showing them off. We have a competition thing going. He's got a better house than me right now. It's a whole thing. He keeps bragging. So I'm just living in it, trying to catch up. And my comfort snacks, well, first of all, you gotta get a cozy blanket going when you're playing games, no matter what. Comfort snacks, salt and vinegar chips. When you're getting low on the bag, you just cut the top off. Just keep going for it. And then, if you want to get, it's gonna be gross to some people, but I've been really into cheese and crackers. So chips, cheese, and crackers through this whole isolation. You get some vegetable crackers. You smear some cream cheese on it, okay? And then if you want to get bougie, okay, this is good. Some people are gonna think this is gross, but it's actually really good. Get a can of these smoked oysters. It's good, I promise. You put the smoked oyster on top of the cheese that's on top of the cracker, and you have that. Maybe have a little drink of your choice with it. Deluxe, my friends. Stay safe, stay happy, stay gaming, and I hope you're all doing well.
So wonderful to hear from all of those superstars. I can't wait to see them in person and give them hugs in real life. I miss them all and I love them all very much. But now, without further ado, here are my first 5 comfort food video games. We're going to start with number 5, Uncharted 2. Now, this was the game that changed everything for Naughty Dog, and in fact, the entire industry. They had made awesome games at Naughty Dog before Uncharted 2, but this was an adventure that showed you could play a video game that rivaled some of the storytelling we would see on the big screen. Indelible action set pieces punctuated by terrific character moments, superb writing, superb production values, and a replayability that I find so addictive. Every time I start playing it, I find it almost impossible to stop, and I play Uncharted 2 all the time.
I'm sensing some history here.
Number 4 is Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo system, and it's been re-released on a bunch of other platforms. Probably my favorite Super Nintendo game to replay. It featured the perfect sense of puzzle solving and exploration as you mine deeper and deeper into these caverns on these crazy alien worlds that were totally dangerous and filled with all kinds of bad guys to blast. The game featured intelligent design that rewarded you for your perseverance and your quick thinking, and reaching all of those save points just made you feel like a great sense of relief, and then you would just feel so proud of yourself as you'd look back at the map and see all of the areas that you've been able to explore. I played this game on virtually every machine that has been able to run it. Every time I get a system that can run Super Metroid, I download Super Metroid to that system and I play it again and again. I'll probably be doing that for the rest of my life. Number 3 on my list is Burnout Paradise, which is out for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and it's been remastered for modern systems, coming soon for the Switch as you're watching this. I love this freaking game, but there's lots of other racers that I could have chosen, including my favorite battle racers, Wipeout and Mario Kart. I even think I like Burnout 3 and Burnout 4 more than Burnout Paradise, but Burnout Paradise is so addictive and it's so comforting for me. I think it's that mix of that open world kind of craziness and exploration as you're cruising around the streets of Paradise City and all of the extended avenues that they've crafted through DLC. And in the remastered versions of this game, you get everything, by the way. But I love the collectibles. I love smashing through the billboards and smashing through the fences and pulling off all the super jumps. And then getting into the crunchy racing is so much fun as well. I love all of the different vehicles that you can collect, including that DeLorean look-alike, which actually hovers like it's out of the Back to the Future movies. I absolutely absolutely adore this game. And you know, when I need to kind of just chill and race around inside of a game world, Burnout Paradise is what I turn to. I love this game. Now, number 2 on my comfort food video games list is Marvel's Spider-Man from 2018, developed by Insomniac for PlayStation 4. Now, this was our Game of the Year winner in our Rocket and Ray Gun Awards for good reason. And you guys know I love superheroes, and I love superhero video games, and I love the Arkham games. But I've always said this about Spider-Man games. One of the things that's always been true for Spidey games is that it's just fun to move around in that game world because of his athleticism and the swinging capabilities. And of course, Insomniac nailed that. But they also nailed this, you know, loving homage to the comic book era and the comic book fiction. It's got a cinematic quality to it, and the gameplay is just so diverse and so fun. And I've got the Spider-Man theme on my system, so the music is playing with the Spider-Man sort of background, and that icon to play Spider-Man is sitting there on my system, and it takes everything I've got to not click on it and launch that game and start over every time I turn on my PS4 Pro. I freaking adore that game. I can't wait for the sequel. I love it. That's why it's number 2. Number 1 on my list is Robotron 2084, and I think some of you longtime viewers could have predicted this. This is an arcade game that goes back to 1982. It's developed by Eugene Jarvis, who I think is one of the greatest creators in the history of this industry. He's done so much good work for video games. He really created a masterwork with Robotron 2084. The first dual-stick shooter, the idea that you could race around as this lone hero saving civilization, the fact that, you know, wave after wave, you would see these enemies escalate and become scarier and more frantic and more intense. It gets my heart racing every time I play it. I've played it on every platform. I was addicted to it in the arcades. I've been addicted to it on everything that I could play this thing on, and I absolutely love it, and it's timeless. It's as perfect today in 2020 as it was when that first quarter dropped into the first arcade machine that rolled off the line. Robotron 2084 is an absolute classic, and the first game I turn to when I need some comfort food in video games. Now, I also asked my Twitter followers to give me some thoughts on some of the games that they go back to, and I got some great replies. Abby C. Jamison says, Super Castlevania 4, I play it at least once a year. It's just such a shining example of how timeless great game design can be. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. Great stuff, Abby. Lino155 says, Need for Speed High Stakes. I spent so many hours setting laps to max and seeing how far I could get before the cops got me. I love the cops chasing you in the Need for Speed games. It's always my favorite part of that series. Buscon_guru says Sniper Elite 4. Finished it more times than I can remember. Just started another campaign today. Thanks for keeping us entertained and informed all these years. Thank you for watching, Buscon Guru. JHab007 says, once every 5 years, Age of Empires 2. What an incredible classic that game is. One of the best RTSs ever made. I remember visiting Ensemble in the Dallas area back in the day when they were building that, and just seeing the intricacy, just the amount of detail and thinking that went into the design of that game. Outstanding stuff. MGS Fan 18 says, all of the Metal Gear games in the HD collection and Half-Life 2. You're talking about some of the best video games ever made. I don't fault your choices there one bit. Excellent stuff. Obi2 Kenobi sent me a great tweet. He said, The Legend of Zelda, my first love in video games. Sure, others have surpassed the original in terms of graphics and scope, but the first one holds something special over me, with a little heart emoji. Classic stuff. Great choice there. Total Starlord says, Fallout 4, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I really enjoyed that game too. I thought it was sensational, but I don't know if it was as revolutionary as Fallout 3 was, but definitely a very fun game to lose lots of hours in. Calmy sent me a tweet saying, I have a 7-month-old who is a terrible napper, so right now I always go back to The Binding of Isaac. It works perfectly for playing in short bursts, and so much replayability. You see right there? That's a dual-stick shooter with some, esoteric design elements from the mind of Edmund McMillan, fantastic creator. But there is something incredibly replayable and fun about that game. It's almost like a roguelike Smash TV-alike. Very, very fun game to play, with lots and lots of depth and so many additions since it first launched. Game Over Club 1 has a great choice in their tweet. Oddly enough, Double Dragon 2, The Revenge on NES. I remember playing those games, and I loved them. I also loved River City Ransom. I don't know if you've ever played that on NES, but if you haven't, and you're a Double Dragon fan, amble over to River City Ransom and check that game and that eventual series out. Awesome stuff. And finally, Yugo_boss has SSX3 and Burnout Revenge. Can't wait to see what Steven Rexschaffner is cooking up next. Me too. I hope that we do get to see SSX come back. I hope that Steven Rexschaffner is a part of that franchise again. And I totally applaud your choices there. I love Burnout Revenge, and SSX3 is also one of my comfort food games. I love playing it, especially on the Xbox One X, up-resed up into 4K. It's absolutely outstanding. So there you go, a huge assortment of games that make us feel better, and that's honestly what video games are supposed to do. We couldn't appreciate them more than in this particular day and age. So hope you got some great ideas for some fun escapism out of these lists. We'll be back with a lot more content for you. We'll have a new rundown for you very soon, and lots of other content for you to check out, other features and other interviews and lots of classic content. So please dive through all of our material on our channel, and if you dig what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and share this with whomever you would like. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you soon, and until then, play forever.